What's up guys, in this video we're going to be looking at the top penny stocks and major stocks that are breaking out in the stock market. I'm going to be going over specifically what happened in the stock market today, and I'm also going to show you guys exactly what are the important events that you need to be looking for tomorrow that could potentially affect the markets to the upside, to the downside. So I'm going to show you the time specifically that these events are going to be happening so you can prepare and actually anticipate what could potentially happen. I'm going to be going over all of these hot stocks and all of these events coming up in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Now let's get right into the video, guys. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and also let's smash the like button, guys. So let's try to get this video to above 200 likes. I really appreciate it, guys. So now the main thing that kind of happened today, as you can see, of the overall market, is kind of a pullback a little bit, mainly because of the coronavirus, the cases that have been happening. So it's kind of like a mixed thing kind of happened. We're looking at the heat map, the heat index, basically they call it the heat map. So like some of the sectors, the technology sectors kind of green, relatively green. The energy sector kind of pulled back a little bit. So the financials kind of pulled back a little bit. Overall, we kind of pulled back a little bit to the downside. So it was kind of expected. There's some of the headlines that was coming out from around the globe was kind of not good, So, but the major things that can potentially affect the market tomorrow. So the events that you need to be looking out for tomorrow, Thursday, June 18 is going to be at 8:30 a.m. The initial jobless claims is going to be reported, and the previous was around 1.54 and expected is going to be 1.35. So if the numbers kind of go beyond or above or below, some of the potential can affect the markets. And also the 8:30 a.m. is going to be continued jobless claims. It's going to be for that, so it's going to be 20.9 in the past. We don't know they're going to be reporting that tomorrow. And also at 8:30 it's going to be Phil Fed manufacturing index. At 10 a.m. is going to be the leading economic indicator. So the other thing that kind of happened today, as you can see from the headlines, is that there's a lot of cases the pandemic has been going on around the globe, specifically in China. Some of the areas over there like Beijing, things like that, are actually kind of getting locked down because the numbers are kind of rising again, unfortunately. So that is kind of the bad thing that affected the market today a little bit, just to pull back, specifically in the on the night session. Specifically in the night session when the market traded on the futures market. So, but anyway, the major headlines and the major stocks that actually broke out, that are breaking out in the penny stock world, is basically IDEX. Now, this company actually broke out mainly because of the headline of this news that they actually had an order. So basically this company got an order, that's kind of like a bulk club order that they want to fulfill. So basically because of this news, the stock eventually broke out significantly, and that is just the catalyst that the stock needed to significantly go to the upside. As you can see over here, it just broke out at this level and it's just shot up to $2.02. We were actually talking about this stocks a few days ago. That was quite interesting, and it just broke out significantly to the upside due to this headline that was just coming out. But this is kind of anticipating, some of the headlines were people were anticipating that this headlines was coming out. So that's why some people were kind of buying it and expecting this move to go to the upside. But now it kind of happened. Either way, either you're gonna sell your profit right now or you're just gonna buy the breakout. So usually for people that kind of trade breakout strategies, this is a good opportunity because there's volume that kind of came in and the company just broke out at this level. So that is just either you buy it or you just wait for a pullback to come to this price point and then you buy it again, anticipating another run to the upside. That is the only two strategies that is left for this stock for us to trade if we're going to buy it right now. But right now it kind of just shot up to the upside, so all you have to do is just either you can chase it if you want to, but however I'll just suggest that you wait, or you can just buy it too if you want, just buying a few shares, instead of just using your whole account to buy it. Also, as you can see over here, the share outstanding is around 157 million shares available, and the share of the float is 128.32 million. So this company is really not owned by institutions, or the insiders own like 24.17% of it. So a lot of these CEOs, compared to institutions, a lot of the people that work in this corporation kind of own it. So that is quite information to have when you're actually involved or buying these companies, because you have to be super careful who's buying these stocks and who's holding these stocks, because eventually if they decide to sell, they can drastically move the markets, So this is a stock that have a breakout. It has a catalyst, so keep an eye on it. If it continues tomorrow, keep an eye on it, guys. So the other stock that is potentially breaking out, and we're looking at it for a continuation, and this is one of the stocks that have the highest volume traded today around the stock market. So basically the shares have been traded significantly, so people were buying and selling this company like a lot today. So this made it the number one company in the stock market today by the amounts of share traded, and as you can see over here, the share outstanding is only 11.96 million shares available. So this is what you call a short, a very, very low float stock, so it can significantly go to the upside. It can just like shoot up to the upside. So as you can see over here, it just went like from like 70 cents to like $1.80. So that's a lot, like 187.7%. That is what you see exactly when you trade options. If you actually trade options, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But as you can see, the stock actually shot up to the upside, and that is really a lot, So then the one of the headlines and the major headlines that kind of affected this stock is major news that spiked this stock to go up around 187.7% was the sale. So they closed the sale of its indirect subsidiary Gateway Interest Corporated to financial service company called Buckle. So they sold their service basically to this company. So because of this headline specifically, this company shot up to 187.7%. Now the question is there going to be a continuation? Should you buy it? Should you wait for it? Can you wait for a pullback, or you can just keep watching the stock? Because the majority of the time when people actually look at these kind of charts, they'd be like, okay, I already broke out, so there's no point in getting involved in it. But what you need to do is, if there's a good headline, you can do more research about the company, and if you believe that there's a next move, there's going to be a leg up, as I say, so if there's a potential move, it can actually spike up to the high that it went over here at around like $1.80. So it can continue to go to the upside and break out again, so that's why you need to focus on it and just keep an eye on it. You can also get involved in it, risking the area that it broke out around. Like you can use like the $1 mark, because that's like a whole dollar number, and it's kind of psychological too. A lot of people use number to kind of use a support and resistance, because that is the majority of the time people have stop losses, or they use those levels of resistance and things like that. And that is one of the areas that you can possibly use for this stock. But it kind of shot up, it had headlines, and it has a lot of momentum because of this news, because it was the number one stock that been traded a lot back and forth, and the float is also very, very small, as you can see over here. So you need to be super careful with it. Basically these stocks can, you just saw it just can shoot up 187% without you even just holding it one day. It just shot up that. So another company that we watched, that we covered on the previous video, was Hertz. So this company also spiked up. Now today it kind of shot up a little bit to 0.56%, because there's a headline that came out that they're actually being investigated by the SEC. So this is not a good thing, so the headlines, I can usually read the headlines like Hertz pulls out share offering, says SEC plan to review it, because so some of the stuff that they're trying to do, it might be sketchy, because they're offering these shares knowing that people are, the company's like going bankrupt, so they're offering that, and people are just buying it blindly, and they, even though they state that the company eventually, the shares is going to be worthless, people are just buying it. So you need to be really, really aware that the SEC steps in and kind of shed a light and investigate it, because this is kind of like, hey, you cannot, it's like you're robbing $1 billion from people, from individual investors that don't know what they're doing, so because the people that know what's going to happen, they're telling you that, but people are like so ignorant that this institution has to come in and kind of investigate them and kind of suspend this share offerings and things like that, because it's really, really very controversial, because the company's like basically bankrupt, and still people want to buy this stock even though it's kind of bankrupt. So it's really, really kind of crazy if you ask me, so still though it's getting investigated. because of this headline, the company went up, 2.56%. So it's really messed up if you ask me that. But still, as I said in my previous video that we talked about it, this could potentially spike up to the upside too. As you can see today, just like today, it spiked up 2.56%. So a lot of people that want to short the company, they kind of pile up on it, and these stocks can just drastically go to the upside, because also a lot of people start shorting it, and this can potentially result in a short squeeze. What that basically means is, like, when there's a lot of shorts, and if there's the certain headlines like this come out, and even though it's the kind of negative, the stock starts to go up, and the people that are short starts to cover, and they start buying it because they have to buy the stock. So that creates a demand for the stock. That does not mean that they want to buy it, but because they want to get out and to cover their short positions because the stock is spiking, that creates a lot of demand, and just the stock just continues to go to the upside. So that is one of the downside of actually trading or buying. If you know what you're doing, and if you exactly have experience, definitely you can trade these stocks, Hertz. So basically, guys, that's basically what happened today in the stock market, guys. So the top 2 stocks that you need to keep an eye on is going to be IDEX. This is the penny stock that broke out, and AFH also broke out. So definitely keep an eye on these stocks, looking for a continuation for the next day after that, because their headlines is kind of pretty good. So there's a potential for that, and they have low floats. So these are one of the important things that you'll be looking for if you want to get involved in it. And also the other thing that you want to look out for if you are wanted to get involved in it, or you want to buy some stocks and things like that, keep an eye on this important economic dates and times that these events are going to be happening tomorrow. So at 8:30 a.m. there's going to be jobless claims reports coming out. So make sure you keep an eye on that, because the stock market can be very volatile in the morning during that time. So right when the market opens, because of the news, we can have like drastic moves to the upside. So if you're going to be planning to day trade or to swing trade, make sure you be careful and be aware of these specific things that are being reported tomorrow, guys. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Also, let me know if you guys actually enjoy like the audio. I kind of did some changes for the audio, so I kind of did like a mic stuff. So if you guys like it, make sure you let me know if the audio is kind of good or not. Like for me, it always sounds good, but I always have like a comment with like one guy says like, hey, the audio sucks or something like that. So just let me know if the audio kind of improved, because I tried to improve it a little bit. I tried to improve it. I did some tests and things like that, so hopefully the audio is kind of pretty good. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. But I will catch you guys on another video tomorrow, guys. So peace out.